Hi all, in this video I will show you how you can create Flappy Bird game in Unity without writing a single line of code. We'll be using Unity's visual scripting, so if you are just starting with Unity, then this is the video for you. Alright, let's jump right in. To begin our project, let's first import this free 2D bird asset from Unity Asset Store. This asset is a gem as it comes with pre-made animations perfect for bringing our game to life. Check out the link in the video description to download this asset, and let's make our game visually appealing with this ready to animate bird. Let's import the bird asset into our project. Click on Window, then click on Package Manager, select your asset, click on Import, and again click on Import button. Now let's select our bird prefab, bird 2. In this case I'm selecting a red one, but you can select any one that you want. Now let's rename our game object to bird, and also let's reset the transform property of this object, and let's change the scale from 1 to 0.3 for all the 3 coordinates. Now let's apply rigid body 2D or add component rigid body 2D to our game object so that we can apply physics to it. And now let's also add script machine so that we can put our visual scripting for this game object. Now let's create a new variable called as flap speed. This will be used to make our bird fly. Let's put the value as 5 as of now. From the onUpdate event, let's search for if node, and now let's also get the input from a space key. We are using this particular node for getting the input from there. If we press our space key, then we want to do one thing. We want to set the velocity of our game object. Now we are simply setting up another vector 2 over here and just passing the flap speed in the y coordinates. If we are pressing space, now our bird is flying up. Let's change the background color of our main camera game object to bright blue so that it resembles the sky. Alright, let's proceed to the next step, crafting our game's obstacles. I'll walk you through creating the pipe game objects that will dynamically appear in our game. These pipes are crucial as they will test the agility of our bird. Follow along as we construct these pivotal components of our Flappy Bird game. Now let's breathe life into our game by adding a script machine to our main pipe game object. This will set our pipes in motion, continuously scrolling to the left, creating that classic Flappy Bird challenge. Now let's create our pipes prefab by simply dragging and then dropping it in our project window. This will be used when we are actually spawning them automatically through our logic. Now let's create an empty game object. We'll call it as pipe spawner. This will be used to spawn our pipe prefabs. Now let's reset the transform and move it to the right hand side of the scene window. Selecting the pipe spawner, now also let's create a script machine so that we can put the logic that will be actually spawning our pipe prefabs in our game. Now let's start by creating some variables. The first one is our spawn interval variable of type float, and we'll put the value as 2. Next variable is timer of again the type float and value as 0. Now in our onUpdate event, we are checking if our timer is less than our spawn interval. If this statement is true, then we want to increase the value of timer with time.delta time value. And the reason why we are going with time.delta time is because that's frame independent. Even if you have a really high-end PC where you are getting 240 frames, the time.delta time value would still be same as that of a 60 Hz monitor or a PC. We'll just pass this value to set variable node over here. Now for the false conditions, what we want to do is if the timer is now 2, then we want to instantiate our pipe prefab or game object at that particular time. Let's pass the position by creating a new vector3 variable over here, and getting the values of x and z from get position. For y, we want to randomize the position of our pipes, our top and down pipes. For that, we want to use a function called as random, this one, and now we'll pass -4 as a minimum value and 4 as a maximum value. And we'll simply pass this value to the y coordinates of this new vector that we are creating. Now once we do this, then we also want to set the timer variable back to 0 so that this instantiation can again happen after 2 seconds. And now, as you can see, our pipes are being spawned in random y positions. Now let's do one thing. Let's select a pipe and go to the script graph for this pipe object. And now we're gonna add the logic to destroy our pipe object once it reaches the leftmost position on our game screen. For that, let's add another on update and if statement, and we'll get the position of this pipe object. We are getting the x value because we only care about x ones, and we are checking if this is less than -10. If this condition is true, then we would like to destroy our pipe game object. This is really beneficial because we won't be allocating any memory to the game objects that are not there on the screen. Now if you see on the left hand side over here, 3 pipes, 4, now those are getting automatically deleted. Let's add our circle collided 2D component to our bird game object so that we can track if our bird game object collides with pipes or the middle of the pipe. Let's enhance our game interface by adding a text element. I'll take you through the steps to incorporate a text display perfect for keeping score. Watch how we add this interactive feature to our game screen for a complete gaming experience. Let's double click on a pipe prefab and now create a middle portion or middle pipe for a pipe prefab. We'll call it as middle pipe. Let's reset the transform and make it right in the middle. Now let's add the box collided 2D to it so that we can track if our bird collides with our middle pipe. This will be used in order to also increase the score. Now let's again go to our pipe prefab, click on middle pipe, now click on tag, add tag, and we'll create a new tag called as middle pipe over here. This will be used when we are actually checking if a bird has collided with a middle pipe or other pipes in order to either update the score or maybe end the game. Don't forget to select the tag for middle pipe and both top pipe and bottom pipe. This is really important, and most of the time we simply forget and our logic doesn't work. So don't forget this thing. Now let's select the bird script graph and add the logic to update the score each time our bird game object passes through the pipes. Let's add this node and we'll look for game object compare tag node over here. We'll put the tag as middle pipe because we want to check if a bird has collided with the middle pipe. If this is true, then create a new scene variable called as score of type integer. We are adding the score by 1. Now we'll pass this value to the set variable scene for score. And now we are actually converting this integer value to string so that we can pass it to our text, the score text. Now let's create another scene variable. Let's score text of type game object, and we are selecting the text legacy that we just created over there. We're going to pass this reference to the second parameter for this node and then this one over here. Now if we pass through the pipe, the score would be updating. Let's put together a game over screen that's simple yet engaging, offering players a screen to try again. Now let's make the game over object inactive so that the game over screen is only visible when the bird game object collides with the pipe game object. Now let's go back to our bird script graph and add the logic to put our game over screen. For that, let's copy these three nodes, paste them over here. Let's just update the tag to pipe. And now if our bird collides with pipe, if this statement is true, then we want to set our game over object as active. So for that, let's create a scene variable called as game over. We'll select the type as game object and simply select the game over game object. Now we want to set it as active. We'll select this particular node, and then over here I just pass a reference to a game over object. We'll select the value as true. Now let's select our game over object and let's add a new component, script machine, to it so that we can put some logic behind restarting our game. Now on update, we want to check if we press our mouse button. So for this, we are going to use this particular node. Get mouse button down. If this is true, then we would like to load our scene. We're going to use this particular node for this, which takes scene name as a variable. Now let's get the active scene to this particular node. And now let's get the name of this particular scene. Now we're going to simply pass the scene name to our load scene node. Now if our bird will collide with the pipe, the game over screen would come, and if we click, system will restart the game. That's a wrap for this tutorial. We have laid the foundation, and while there's plenty more to explore, it's a solid start for any beginner. Do not hesitate to enhance your game with new features like a high score tracker or a main menu. If this video sparked a new idea or skill for you, consider subscribing to support more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'm excited to see you in the next one.